It's here. It's not going anywhere. We have this. It's a moment in work history
Yeah.
that I cherish.
And right now that run's not over yet. You guys still got it.
No.
You guys
They
still
have to
got
win
it for
tomorrow.
sure.
Yo, Cousinese, if you're still here and you're listening, and if they do win, there's your documentary right there, okay? There's your video.
True,
Video
bro.
idea.
True.
Virtus, aka VRT, an old and well-known rote clan, known for winning the first ever official rote tournament, and for having some of the most skilled players in the community. Their story is one of perseverance and honor. This is the VRT Story Recap. Virtus was originally created by Emil on June 2021. During this time, Emil would be trying to join the most popular team at the time, 139. He would then decide against this idea, as he saw that 139 was dominating the competitive site, and were only getting stronger. He then came to the conclusion that starting his own team would be a much better idea, and went on to do just that. Emil would go on to recruit 7 members into his clan, which would consist of Leon, Netsu, and Sarajak, who would join VRT after their team SCP disbanded. Fenry, a player that Emil was familiar with, joined the VRT after being asked twice to join. He was a daily player in the deathmatch pubs that Emil would get to know and build a friendship with, and he would only accept the invitation after being told that it would be temporary, as they wanted to compete in the competition. Corsair was also a daily deathmatch pub player that would catch the attention of Emil. Emil and Fenry would often play with Corsair and then go on to invite him into VRT. Corsair would go on to leave the team after a month because he didn't enjoy the team elimination game mode. Chuba and Barry were both players from the GCR server that Emil was familiar with. Emil would go on to ask him to join. While Chuba stuck around, Barry would only be in the team for a while, before becoming too busy to play the game and having to quit before the first official tournament. After a while, Emil would go on to retire from the team after winning the GCR coin tournament. The next VRT leader would be 10 Armark, as he would take over VRT after Team Based merged with VRT, bringing new members to the team such as 10 Armark, Interflash, Not a Pro, and Sasha Enthusiast. Mingog would also join VRT at this time after leaving Team 139. Armark would stay as VRT's leader for a while before passing down the mantle to Mingog in order to join 139. Not a Pro would also leave the team with Armark in order to join 139. This brings us to the current leader of VRT, Mingog. VRT has accomplished many things during their time as a team. They would go on to win the first officially hosted tournament on August 29, 2021. Their roster during this tournament would consist of Emil, Fenry, Davai, Leon, and Chuba. This would make them known as the first official champions in RAOT history, and rightfully so. VRT would also end up being the reason that the weapon limit cap was set in the first place, after going against all YK in a tournament with only APGs. This was back before the balance update that nerfed APGs. As stated before, VRT also won the GCR coin tournament, winning a prize of 10 euros, which the team would hand over to their team leader at the time, Emil. Emil would use the prize money to buy rice after saying he would, while joking to his friends. The most recent accomplishment by VRT would be winning the RAOT World Stage Tournament. This would be another major accomplishment for VRT and the finale its leader, Mingog, needed. VRT would even claim in the Roach Anniversary podcast the day before the tournament that they would win the whole thing, and as we would come to see, they stuck to the words in VRT style. The roster during this fight would be Mingog, Davai, Finri, Joff, and Chuba. In this tourney, all of VRT's members would be using the Connie skin in honor of their team founder, Emil. Mingog had great respect for Emil and his work, and this act by the team would go on to show the impact that its first leader had on them. VRT is especially proud of their 3 APGs and 2 Thundersphere setup they have when going into matches, holding 2 of the best Thundersphere users in the game, Chuba and Joff. Ever since Mingog took over the VRT mantle, he had but one goal in mind, and that was to win an official tournament while he was still leader. He would go on to lead his team through many battles and difficulties, improving their skills and their teamwork along the way. This was all in order to become the strongest team out there. But staying on top of the competitive community is not easy. People will always try to take you down in order to steal your spot, and Mingog knew this far too well. He knew that he wouldn't be able to stay on top forever, but he didn't mind. He just needed to be on top for a while, just enough to be able to get one grand victory. This one victory would be enough for him to retire afterwards. If he could go down as the leader who led his team to a victory in an official tournament, he would be satisfied. So he stated that after he would win the tournament, he would retire. Being a large core member, this will definitely have an impact on VRT, and he will definitely be missed by the competitive community. But he isn't the only core member leaving. Davai, one of VRT's longest members and the pillar, will also be retiring. The reason he will leave will be told as quoted. I quote, "I have a mandatory 1-year military service in my country, which could be considered the main reason, but not really. Even if I didn't need to go, I'd still retire after RSL. My reasons are not that complicated and hard to understand. It's going to be a year since I started playing this game. It has been an amazing experience overall, especially after joining the comp community. I grinded this game back in summer, and that's where it all started going downhill probably. Lack of updates in fall-winter made this game go stale for me. I started playing less and less until the only places I would show up were scrims and tourneys. But I still believed in the patch with balance changes that happened on New Year's. And it was good. Any new balance changes were good for me, even though they nerfed RPGs. My motivation to keep playing kind of returned, so I tried my best to be more active once again. But that didn't last for long, and soon I found myself at the starting point where I barely even played the game. So that's how it is. The game got stale and became unfun for me. The patch with balance changes gave me a bit of hope, but it didn't last for long." Those right there are the words of Davai, a core member who will be leaving VRT soon, and the community as well. As these 2 legends ascend from the competitive community, we are only left with the legacy they have built. VRT is a manifestation of core traits that I love in any team: perseverance, honor, and passion. They embody these traits to the very core. Seeing the team with unwavering resolve and good characters leave the community will be hard to accept, but I think it's important that we as a community remember them and their legacy far into the future of Rift. As long as we, the community, exists, they should not be forgotten. Now, my final question to the soon-to-be remaining members of VRT is, will you guys continue to build on top of this positive legacy that your teammates have built? Or will you guys go on your own separate paths as well? Either way, this marks the end of an era. The end of VRT. This video was made after I couldn't decide on what to highlight for a podcast recap video, since the whole thing was past 7 hours and it had a lot of things going on, so it was too long for me to do anything. Dorak, the host of the event, suggested that I make a VRT video after they told their story live on this podcast, and so I did. Keep in mind guys, this video required a lot of research and time to make, so I would appreciate it if you guys could hit the like button and subscribe. And honestly, I enjoyed interacting with you guys in the comment section, so make sure to leave a comment down below and I will 100% sure respond. Anyways, that's about it, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye!